Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
What's going on, people? This is Influence. Today I got the Lucky Cat Mini Voltron. I don't even know what it's called. It's the Lucky Cat Microcosmos MC-01 Elvis. I have no idea what those names are or means. But anyway, yes, this mini Voltron. It's the metallic paint version. I know they had another version out before this that was less metallic, look more plasticky. This is metallic, has die cast. I don't know if the other one had die cast. It probably did. It probably didn't change anything but the paint on this. Initial thoughts, it is only 7 inches tall, I believe. I will compare it to some other stuff. And yeah, it splits into the lines and it turns into some cubes. And I don't know why or what the purpose of it is, but we'll get into it. So it comes in Voltron form. If you're wondering and you want it to know, if you buy this, do you have to do anything? You can just pull it out the box, pull the accessories out the plastic, and you're good to go. It's in this form. Not that it's hard to get into this form, but hey, some people just like the display as is. And just up close, you can see his face. The paint's really done well. I like the metallic paint here. All of this paint is done well. This is like chrome plastic. I don't know if it's chrome paint, probably not. But the back, the line has a T, not a 1. Not sure if that's always. Also, something to note, I think the red line was 2 and the green line was 3. So they got it confused. I think these are right, 4 and 5. I think blue was 4 and yellow was 5. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but I do think these numbers are crossed. I think the red line should have been 2. Anyway, the paint on all of these is pretty great. When I was fooling with it, I did have some paint chips on my hands. That's not pinched my hand on a different transformer. But yeah, I did have some paint chips on my hands while I was manipulating and transforming. So we'll see how that paint holds up. Again, I was showing his face. It is nice paint. You had this. You have some accessories. Let me show you some comparisons with other figures so you can see just how big he is. And this is Studio Series Hot Rod, so you can see how small, I should say, Voltron is. You know, Voltron should be nowhere near that size. Voltron that I did a little review on not too long ago, the model, it kind of reminded me of that until I got it side by side, and then I realized this is a lot better than this. So maybe this is worth $100. I don't know. This was like $100, but it is a model. But this is much more detailed than that, and it's also a lot better. But they're about the same size. But I definitely like this better than this as far as how it looks. And I think I'm going to take this to work and put this on display where I had this at. So that just gives you a sense of scale. So let's go over accessories, how you get his weapons in his hand. Of course, there's pegs, but this comes apart from the rest of everything. So there's a bag of accessories that you don't really know, and that's one of my biggest complaints is the directions. Just because you have a mini figure doesn't mean you need many directions. I've seen that a lot on a few. I don't know if it's because they're saving money. I'm sure they're saving money because paper. But look at these directions. Like, how am I supposed to look at my hand? Look at this. How am I supposed to read that? Like, and I can't really see it. Now, thankfully, this isn't a super complicated transformer, but it does get complicated when you're turning it into the boxes. They do have directions for that. Well, let's go over accessories first. That's what I was doing. Got lost for a minute. Then I'm gonna go over articulation Then I'm going to separate the lines, and then I'll turn them into the boxes and let you see what that looks like. Is they don't really give you directions for these accessories. They show them in the directions, but you can't, they're so small you don't even know what they're talking about. So you have the sword, of course, the blazing sword. You have the shield that you already saw, or like maybe some accents in there, I don't know. You have this piece that I believe is when he forms the blazing sword, when he puts his paws together, or his mouths, I should say, his lion mouth, and forms the sword. That's what this is. It's like him forming it. That's cool. He has these two little things right here that come into play when you turn them into boxes. He has these weaponry that aren't really explained. They just show them in the direction somewhat. But there's two of these. This is for the black line, actually. It's not bad sculpt, but it's just all black. Then you have these things that come just the top parts, and then this arm piece, which these plug into the red and green line. It's just some extra weapons. You got this that plays into the lion once you get it together, and then you have these guns that can go on to the legs, the blue and yellow line. So yeah, that's about it there. So articulation, you can get his head look straight up. You can get it to look down about that much. It's not a lot. This is straight, and then this is like down. You can get his neck to move down like this, so you can, however, get it a little bit more down, but then it's like more like, oh, what's going on up under there? Trying to change the oil, and you can get it back so he can go even farther back and look up, and that moves so you can change him into a box. Head moves around. It's on a ball joint, I believe. These ears move out. That's the first time I brought them out and they came off. They're just on a little clip. You get the arms, the wings can move. They're really tight. They're on screws, so we all know like they're super tight. And when you get about up here, I think the screw is had it, like the screw's screwed in. So I'm hoping it don't strip, but you can definitely move these like this if you like it better, or move them all the way up like this if you like it like that. I like it traditionally, but I do like the size that they're not super big. You move this around. Now this moves around. I really wish this would have had a latch on it, maybe, or maybe just pulled out. It does pull out, but once it pulled out, maybe if it moved around, it would be fine. And once you push it in, it shouldn't move anymore, but it does. But you can get extra, I guess, extra articulation. So you get all the way around. Get his arm up that far, both sides, of course. He has this extra articulation, so he can get, it's just about double jointed. Does look weird, but it doesn't look terrible. So you get his way past 90 degrees. Get the full, you got a bicep swivel here. I don't know if there's one up here now. It's right here. So really your forearm swivel. And head moves in like this. And I don't think you can move it. No, I don't think it spins. That's another gripe. I almost broke it trying to spin it, unless it's too tight. But just moves like that. You got waist, moves all the way around 360, but you can get it forward a little to give it a better, and then you can move it back when you need to move it, or if you needed to move it all the way around like this. Oh, it doesn't go all the way around. It stops right there because of that. But it's just about all the way around. It's pointing almost back. Then you have hip skirts right here, and you have these skirts up here you can lift up. So the legs is on friction. Let me see, the back skirts. Oh yeah, back skirts are individual as well. so that's good. So you definitely can get them all the way up. And he does the hurdles. Fails a little bit, but it doesn't fail a lot. And given that these are die cast feet, his heads are die cast, the lion heads, so that's great. And you have a swivel up here, thigh swivel. You can go out to the side, it's even tighter to the side, and you can get the full splits, and that doesn't fail at all. So that's where I don't want it to fail, especially if it's friction and not ratchet joints, because that means he won't do splits on you when he's standing up. Now his knee he gets the full run, but you do have to kind of get these legs out the way because they're like this. So when I was moving it, they were getting caught right here, right there. But if you just move that out like that, then you can get the knee all the way up. It's double jointed, I believe so. So that's how that joint gets that, both sides. And then here you can kind of move this down far, and you can get the toe back and kind of tilt it a little bit and move it up a little bit and tilt it up. And then you can move these how you need them, like if you need them in a different angle. And then you can get the rocker in and out just as you would. And of course the lion heads, you can, like how they used to be like on the commercial, I mean on the cartoon when they formed, it'd be like rah. So there's that. No waist bend. I was surprised. I just knew these would have waist bend, but it's fine for me. I think that's it. You do get a butterfly, kind of. You can get this out and you can use this as a butterfly, and because of that and because of how much you can get a really tough pose. Like he's holding, he could be grabbing somebody in a bear hug, or he could be kind of folding his arms. They're a little, they're bulky, so how he's gonna fold them. But yeah, you can get that, so that's good. Articulation. Throw that back. Like I said, it's not a bad figure. It's a pretty good figure. It's nice looking. The paint's really done well. I'm surprised, especially I think this is a new company, or a company I never heard of. I don't know if it's new. I'm not gonna be that arrogant. I think I've heard of every company out there in the world. However, it is a new-ish company. I do believe that. So let's get these out. How you separate them. Just pull these out like this. It's just a peg there. It's friction, but it's really tight. Back here, there's two pegs on the side of the lion legs. So you gotta kind of work them out. And you see them peg holes right there. Kind of work them out. And here you go. Oh, don't want to drop them. Like I said, there's these are die cast, the lion heads. I don't think there's any die cast in here. I don't know, there may be. It feels like a tiny bit of heaviness maybe in here. This is die cast, I think. That's the connection port. Yeah, that's what I think. I'm gonna show one of each. Him, the black lion, and one of the legs. And then the other one is just the same, so you'll just see me cut to it. So what you do here is pull this out. Then you gotta get this little tail out. Let me use a thing for, I can get it out with my hand, but just fold this tail out. One of the gripes, they could have formed a regular tail. Like, I don't know, I mean, I know it's flat because it has to form a cube. You push the port up, had a port in the back like that, and then the tail's over top of it. But it's like just a flat piece of plastic with a couple hinges. And you just pull the legs out just like you would any other Voltron. However you can. Up here, pull these legs out just like any other Voltron. Then the head, and This is where these come into play. There's a peg here that sticks into this hole. That's how you know which side everything's on. You just put this in here. There we go. There he is. Do the blue lion. Same way. Move this up here like that. Pull his tail out. Move the legs down, and you can kind of pull them out of the socket, not the socket, but it comes away from the body a little bit. All these are tight. That's one thing as well. Just a note. You pull this down. Pull this down. You can kind of pull this away from the body, and you can see it kind of comes out, so it's not so slim line, so you can actually get some character. You move this head down, and you can push this up. There's a tab in there that tabs up in there. You can tab it back and have it more straight and on point there. Then you can move these out like this if you want, just so you can have a little and the lines aren't really my favorite lines, but they are what they are. Yeah, you can use this port if you want and put it onto the side. There you go. And now the black line, you can get this face up. Get that face up. You can put it up there, and then you can have the mouth how you want it. Put the skirts down. Move these skirts up in here like this. Kind of fills in the gaps in there. Well, first, let's get these out of here. Just pull them out. Pull them out and have it kind of where you need it. Anatomically correct for a lion. Push these up there like that. Make sure you pull these skirts down, because then you're gonna have to. Oh, where is this going at? There we go. Put that down there like that, and you can have it kind of. Get that going. You can move this back here, of course. The wings down. I already pulled the tail out, and there you go. And you got his weapons here. Peg on into the back of here, and then it can move like this, and kind of like some guns. Peg on the back of here, then move them. These aren't the greatest lion modes. They look okay. I think their heads look kind of funny, except the black lion I think is a little too small, probably because it has to be the head of Voltron. But these are kind of square looking and weird. I don't know, they look weird to me. I think maybe if they had the gimmick like the mini plate had, where the heads could come off and you put new ones on that look different, I think it might have made more sense. But it's okay. It's not bad. It's not terrible. Now I'm only gonna do one because they all have the same articulation. It's this, they have this out. Well, no, I'm gonna do one of each because they do have a little different articulation. You got the in and out here, you got a joint here, joint here. They basically go all the way around. There's no rockers on any of them on the feet. The mouths open all the way up. They have slots, so you can technically probably put some of the weapons in the mouth if you wanted to, but that's for holding the weapons in Voltron mode. Yeah, the weapons, and he goes this way, and wag his tail if you wanted to. And unfortunately, it doesn't. At least I don't think it moves in the back. I tried moving this. I think it only moves on this joint right here. So you can't get no up and down, no ab crunch type. I think I showed his mouth, got teeth, and see his face. Blue Lion, you have his mouth, of course. He doesn't have slots for weapons. You got all this up there. I think I showed that. His legs do articulate like this. They're on like a rocker. You got a joint here. You got a joint here, and here, like double jointed foot action, so you can get it exactly how you want it. But there's no rocker on the feet as well. Tails are jointed and they go up and back. Usually I have it down, but it goes up like this sometimes. I think it's supposed to be like this though. And the back is kind of the same. You get a good range though of pivot. The black lines, you can get this all the way out like this, and then he has like a big wide stance. I don't really like it like that. Have his head, now his head goes around because it's Voltron's head, and go down like that and up not that much. No side to side on none of them. The guns can fold if you want them to. Fold like this. And you have little guns, kind of. He's a black line. He needs big guns. Back isn't great as far as articulation just because of the way it sits. It's kind of weird. But you can get, you got this on a ball joint. Now everything is so tight because of the paint. I know that's why. It probably wasn't this tight on the non-painted one. But I think a byproduct of that is these legs and stuff are tight. Like they really pose well because they are tight. Of course, you got all this stuff. You can move a little bit. You want to move it out a little. I will get them in box mode. Fold it up just like you did or will for Voltron mode. So fold that up like that. Move this out. You're gonna have it out for this mode. You just fold these legs up like this. Wait, yeah, up like that. Get it flush. Always get it parallel. You always gotta get it parallel, so you know. Get that parallel, then put these up here. Hold that up there. Not hard at all. Super easy. But then with this extra joint right here, you fold this up and the combiner ports into the bottom of his head. And basically that's box mode. So now you get this thing. Do the same with the green line, and you get this thing and you put it all together like this. You can see how the arms are. Put this thing together. So now you take this, you see that hole? You see how this is? Put this in here like this with this that way. into that hole. You insert that in there. Do the same with the green line on this side. Then you can move this all the way up like this. Kind of keeps it going. Wait, did I do this right? Like I said, the directions aren't the greatest. It does show you a little. It's hard to figure out. And that's it. It's a box, and then you can take the shield and put it here, and it kind of stores it. And you have this, and then move it so it's, you have this thing right here. For storage. Now for this, the same thing. Just put it back in Voltron mode. Get it back there how you need it. Back there how you need it. Get this over here like this. Again. Put the tail back. And now this is where you go a little more in depth. Take this out, move this up here. Like that. And this you want to pull back down, spin it around, and hold. Want to bring this in. This is the weapon that you had. Now you want to peg it up here so these things are at the top, and the peg goes into that peg hole. Can be kind of hard because it doesn't peg in. It pegs in good, but it's hard to get in. Now you have that peg right there. That peg is going to peg into the top of the head right here. So then you move this up, peg that in. You can push this down as you're pegging it in to try to get it where you need it. Then what you want to do, bring the other one in here, and you want to, I got to move one of these because one has to go here and one has to go here in order to peg them together. This can be hard because this peg is tight. I'll put this over here. Now you can peg these together, how they fit. There we go. Couldn't figure it out. Peg them together, and here you go. You have cubes for some reason. Again, you have cubes. So last, you want to do the black line. You can take his weaponry off, put the tail back in, put this down here, fold this up, fold this, move this up here like this, and fold the shoulders back in like you would normally. Then you can move these down just to get them out the way. I'm gonna pull this down here. That's tight. Pull that down and put the head in. Pull this out here. I might need to push this, pull this back. And you just have this all the way out like that. Flip these down here. It may work better. Yeah, it might have worked better if I took the tail out, but I don't know. I don't know if you're supposed to or not. This can become cumbersome, but you want to move this back. This whole torso goes back like that, and then you can spin this around all the way. If it doesn't, you ain't got it back far enough. There you go. It's back far enough. Now you can spin it. You should be able to spin it around all the way. I don't like that. That doesn't feel good. But then you want to spin this around and it goes into here like this. Push this up there like that. Now you have this. Move this back. Put these back here like that. Have this so the red part is in the back. Then you can have enough room to move this up here. Move this like that. Move this like that. These feet were bothering me. You can see how I got this foot. That's how you need to get it. I got some of it off camera and I wasn't recording, unfortunately. You can kind of get it like that, and you want to get it flush so it's facing each other so they're not bumping against each other. Then you want to bring this in, flip it around. Where am I plugging this in? Right there. And then there's a peg here that plugs underneath. So plug that in there. And then peg this underneath here. There we go. Like that. Finishes the cube. Go here. Do the same thing over yonder. Where are we at? Right here. Needs to move all different ways so you can kind of get them where you need them to be. Put that in there, and then move this up and peg this in. And you can kind of situate it how you need it. But it is pretty nice looking. Like when you look at it from the front like this, because then you can add this. You can put this on here, and you can put this in front of here like this, and then you can put the sword in here like that, and it holds the sword. There you go, thing that can be done. I mean, little cubes. All right, so this concludes the review. I'm not going back to Voltron mode because, I mean, it's just unfolding this stuff. If you can't figure that out, man, this might be the wrong game for you. I'm just saying. All right, so let me appreciate y'all watching, and I will get up with you in another video. Peace.
Ain't no, life ain't no, life ain't no, life ain't no. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high.